Well, we are at the Eastern and Western Conference final rounds. Last week talking, I mean, I don't even want to say this. I guess I will. What a turn of events. It's been crazy. I'll start with the Nets Bucks series. I mean, 7 games, overtime game 7. What more could you ask for? Durant played fantastic again. Hit the game-tying shot. Foot was on the line. And then couldn't get the game winner in overtime. Ended up airballing it. Harden played his minutes on a grade 2 hamstring strain, literally playing on one leg. And, you don't want to make excuses at all. And I am far from a Nets fan. If this team's if Irving plays, if Harden's on 2 healthy legs, this series is done in like 5 or 6 in the Nets' favor. Just couldn't pull out this one. I mean, when Durant gave you 49 a few games, what was that? Game 5 to give you the 3-2 lead. I mean, that was the game that he gave you, put the entire team on his back and carried the entire freight. Every besides Jeff Green's one good game, every other role player sucked. Joe Harris was absolutely absent from the entire postseason. Steve Nash did not play Nicholas Claxton a lot, which I was surprised. And there you go. Gone in 7. Now, on the other side of the, with the Eastern Conference, the Atlanta Hawks just pulling out a rabbit out of their hat, taking care of the Sixers, just fucking collapse. What a collapse. I mean, Ben Simmons sucks. Absolute joke. Missed 48 free throws in this playoffs. Terrible. If I'm the Sixers, I'm trading his ass. See ya. Embiid couldn't believe he passed up that dunk late in the game. They blew countless leads, gave up a ton of games to the Hawks. And now, funny enough, the Atlanta Hawks is the first. They're back in the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 6 years. Totally forgot about that 2015 team was the number 1 team in the East, 60-22. The likes of that was Horford, Millsap, Teague. That was when Schroeder just got into the league. DeMarre Carroll was really good coming up. Kent Bazemore. A really solid team. And then they got swept by the Cavaliers and LeBron James back in 2015. So, you didn't really remember the Hawks being very good not too long ago. I saw a tweet. It was if you told me that the Hawks' last Eastern Conference Finals was 25 years ago, I would have believed you. And the fact that it was 6 is insane because no one remembers it because they got absolutely embarrassed the last time they were there. Bucks Hawks. I mean, game 1 tonight. Very interesting. Definitely not what I think anyone expected. The Hawks, they showed you, I think, in the series against Philadelphia that they are for real. They are a good team. And I think it goes to show you, I'll bring some Knicks into this, that the Knicks truly overachieved in the regular season and played really well in the regular season. But when it came to a series matchup, I don't think that, they just obviously didn't have the tools. And I think the Hawks, the type of players they have, built for it. You take care of the Knicks. You take care of the number 1 seed in the East. Now you got a little what was it? Knicks are a little 3-5 matchup for the East. And on the West Coast, Western Conference Finals, 2 games are done. Suns are up 2-0 already. No Chris Paul, no Kawhi Leonard on the other side for the Clippers. And Deandre Ayton and Devin Booker getting it done. That buzzer beater dunk on the inbound last night. I mean, perfect. Perfect execution. And Paul George, playoff P, can't hit a free throw at the end. The Suns, and I mentioned it, a little callback. I mentioned it last week. The Suns have been the best team in the NBA for a long time this year, like for the duration. They are the best team left. They have a serious shot at a title. You're up 2-0. And it's crazy because the Clippers have been down 2-0 both series that they played this postseason and come back to win. Both times. Jazz, Mavs. But I'm down 2-0, excuse me. Ooh. Down 2-0 to a way better team. And a team that's playing really well even without their captain, their leader, and Chris Paul. Bucks in 6 for the Eastern Conference. I get a little bit of help with the Suns because they're up 2-0. I'll take the Suns in 5. Makes it easier when you know that they got 2 games. I like Phoenix to win it all this year. I really do. They close out games. They play as a team. They're really sound. They're really good. But it's funny enough that if the Bucks make it and the Bucks do win, let's say Giannis wins a championship and he ends up winning the Finals MVP if they win, which you'd assume he would. That's a resume that has to be talked about and be in a conversation about. 2-time MVP or no? Yeah. 2-time MVP, Finals MVP, NBA champion, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, 5-time All NBA, whatever, if equals 5 or 7-time All Star, whatever it is. Him winning a Finals MVP and a championship is going to have some interesting ways of putting his career into perspective. Overall, we know he's great. We know he's athletic. To get it done this year would bring up some very interesting conversation, I think, for Giannis. And who knows? Maybe that forces his hand to think about staying in Milwaukee and maybe building even a better team. And I mean, Budenholzer's job was on the line this year. I think that if they lost to the Nets, he would have been fired just because they needed change and, couldn't make it to an Eastern Conference Finals. I think his job is intact, and even if they make the finals, and he's going up against his former team. Mike Budenholzer was the head coach of the Hawks the last time they made the conference finals back in 2015. So maybe a little extra motivation. And not even extra motivation, just the Bucks are a better team right now. They're just a better team. Hawks have been hot, and you didn't expect it. But the Bucks are a better team. It's easy to just kind of pick them. You'd expect them to win. Bucks, Suns, my predictions. Well, let's see. I just want to... How much time we got on?
2.
All right. So the Suns are up 2-0, right? Today, Bucks game 1. Game 3 for Suns Thursday. Friday's 2. Saturday is game 4. So earliest the Clippers Sun series come over is Saturday. Game 3, Bucks Hawks is Saturday. All right. So, unless the Bucks sweep the Hawks, we won't know what the matchup for the finals will be next week's episode. Clips Sun series will most likely that'll be over with come next Wednesday. Why did I just exit out of that? If necessary, Game 5 for the Suns Clips. Game 6 would be next Wednesday. So, honestly, maybe both series will still be going on. We'll know soon. NBA. The NBA. No 1 seeds in the conference finals. First time I think in a long time. I don't know the year, but it's been a long time. I think they said like in 13 years or something. I don't know. It might be a little bit longer. It's kind of wild. But the upsets have been happening.